Hi, I hope all is well with you and that you're staying safe. This week, we're learning Parshas Terumah, and pretty much beginning with Parshas Terumah until the end of Sefer Shemos, with the exception of Parshas Kisisa. We'll be dealing primarily with the construction of the Mishkan and the various vessels that are contained within it. There are many people that feel that once we start Parshas Terumah, there are not that many lessons that we can learn from these parshios. However, they are mistaken, because not only can we learn from every letter of the Torah, but certainly from every single parsha that we have. There's so much that we can learn from. As we will soon see, the parsha begins pretty much from the very beginning. The Ribono Shel Olam commands Moshe Rabbeinu and Klal Yisrael, V'yasuli Mishkan v'shachanti b'socham. Build for me, or make for me, a Mishkan, and I will dwell within them. And immediately the Mefarshim ask, V'shachanti b'socham? It should be V'shachanti b'socho. Not that I will dwell within them, but I will dwell within it. The Chazal teach us that the Ribono Shel Olam is saying that once we build a Mishkan, he will reside in every single member of Klal Yisrael, regardless of where we are, whether we're in the Beis HaMikdash, in the Mishkan, or even if we're not in the Beis HaMikdash, or not in the Mishkan, and not even if we're in Eretz Yisrael, even if we're in Chutz La'aretz, wherever we are, the Ribono Shel Olam will dwell within us. And there are some people that feel that although they understand that and have the feeling that the Ribono Shel Olam is with them, but today it is so difficult to withstand the pressures of society as we see society crumbling amongst us. And the pressures are phenomenal. We are bombarded from all sides, and they feel, how is it possible to maintain ourselves and certainly to move in a positive direction? It seems impossible. And the answer, again, is found in this parsha. In describing the construction of the various vessels, the Torah uses the terminology v'yasisa, you shall make, commanding B'tzalel to make the various vessels, with the exception of the Aron, the ark, which contained the Luchos and the Torah. In describing the construction of the Aron, the Torah uses the terminology v'asu, and you shall make, rather than v'asisa. And Chazal teach us that the Ribono Shel Olam is teaching us that when it comes to the Torah, the commandment isn't on one individual. It's on all of Klal Yisrael. The Torah is for everyone, and everyone has a chelek, everyone has a share, each according to their abilities. One person can be the Gadol Hadar, another individual whose abilities are not quite as great might be able to learn a minimum of Chumash, a minimum of Mishnayos, maybe not even Daf Yomi, but it doesn't matter. What matters is how much the individual is trying. We all have a chelek, we all have a share in the Torah, and we're all commanded to take our share. It doesn't make a difference how big or how small, as long as it's our share. And the Torah goes even one step further. In describing the construction of the Aron, the dimensions that are used, the Aron is 2.5 by 1.5 fractions. And again, Chazal teach us that the reason why it's described as fractions is to teach us that it's never finished. It's always a fraction. Whatever we learn, and we think, well, we've learned as much as we can, we have to be intellectually honest with ourselves and know that we can always learn more. Again, each one of us with our particular abilities can learn to the best of our abilities, but we have to learn to the best of our abilities. And the Ribono Shel Olam is guaranteeing that even in these times, and he knows that we're living in these times, he's put us here. This is our Nisayon, a very different Nisayon than previous generations, but this is our particular Nisayon. And it's a Nisayon, though, that we can succeed in. If we grab onto the Torah, we learn the lessons of the Aron, the lessons of the Mishkan and understand and remember that Ribbono Shel Olam is always with us, regardless of where we are, and that we always continue to hold on to the Torah, to learn as much as we can, to constantly try to be learning. Even though we might be living busy lives, there's always time. If it's not safer inside, it's to listen to a shir, to discuss Torah with our friends, certainly with our teachers, so that we hold on to the Torah. As we know, Eitz Chaim hi lama chazikim ba. Now, Mitzvah Hashem, if we try and do our utmost, certainly the Ribbono Shel Olam will answer our tefillos, will stay strong, and not only will we retain where we're holding, but we will continue to move, Mitzvah Hashem, in a positive direction. Have a wonderful day and a meaningful Shabbos.